TitleMatchNetwork.com.
You finished up with AWA and NWA, and you headed back to WWWF. At this period of time, you got the tag belts on your first night in. How did WWWF change at all since your very first run? Was it different for you the second time in?
No, not at all, not at all. And you know, it was a blessing again. You know, to just when I left, Vince McMahon Sr. told me, he says, Jimmy, you handle yourself like a gentleman. Everybody enjoyed you here. I was there 15 months. He says, I want you back every 4 years. And while he was living, I went back basically every 4 years. I was there like 70, 71, and then I came back 74, then I came back 78 with the Gentleman Jerry,
right,
the six man, and so he whatever he says is gold.
Yeah,
take it to the bank. I was back every 4 years.
You worked with Lou when you went back, right? Albano was your manager?
Captain, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the Grand Wizard had my contract, and Lou wanted to buy it from him, or they traded something or whatever the deal, because I came in with Johnny, so Johnny, Captain Lou Albano managed Johnny and myself, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guys there around this period of time. You had Tony Garea, Zbyszko, Haystacks, Andre. What was Andre like?
Oh man, brother, he was so super. If he liked you, and I was fortunate he liked me, man. I'd talk, oh Jimmy, sit down, oh Jimmy, and he was in the ring, brother. He was like a bear. If he wanted to, he could just backhand you, and man, you'd flip over the top rope, land 3-4. I'm telling you, he didn't know his own strength, and I remember a cover, that after in one of the wrestling magazines, one of them where he's splashing me, and I'm laying down in the middle of the ring, and he's straight out his whole body, and he coming down. And brother, he could have killed me, brother.
He took care of you.
You bet, you bet, yeah, always. But hey, if he didn't like you, he could be rough on you, brother.
Killer Kowalski, Bobby Duncombe, Dominic DeNucci, Pete Sanchez, all those guys are in the office. Not the office, I'm sorry, the company at that period of time.
You bet.
You also headlined MSG, one of the shows with you and Johnny versus Bruno and Jay Strongbow.
You bet.
Big show?
Yeah, huge, man, and it was just, I was so fortunate to be able at that era to work against all the legends, all the greats, and
they even put you with Bruno at Buffalo in the main event. I think it was a singles match too.
You bet.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, man, and it's just something that the young kids, now, and I'm so glad that they have that WWE 24/7 for the young kids to look and see, all the different, different. It was all complete different, and old school stuff were, instead of just looking at what's happening right now, they could see that too. So they're getting the best of both worlds, Robin, and you can, there's a lot more wrestling back then, especially, in St. Louis, man. Oh my goodness, the world champ, they'd go to Our Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, just, every night they would. Boy, they had to be in the best shape. I remember doing I'm getting ahead of myself, but you probably, but the Boogie Woogie Man against Ivan Koloff, you're going to talk about it, but I remember working 9 months with him, 7 days a week, for the TV championship. and you had to go 20 minute. If you go 20-minute time limit, the bell would ring, and he kept the championship belt no matter what.
Right.
If I had them the sleeper, and they're counting down, and 1, 2, and the bell rings. You know what I mean? Because it's 20 minutes, 3, and then I put them to sleep, and man, I think I won, but no, the bell rang at 2, or I caught him covered 1, and the bell ring, whatever. And man, I would beat him pillar to post. I mean, for 20 minutes, man, and he'd be bleeding, but he was so tough, and he kept the belt, and that's where your money's at. Where the good guy chased that bad guy.
Yep.
And I had the belt, the TV belt, 3 times. I beat Ivan twice for it, both times in Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And then one time as Charlie Brown, I beat Kabuki in Greensboro for it. So I had that belt 3 times, Rob. But in 3 times, I held it maybe 3 weeks.
Right.
Maybe average a week and then boom, Tully would take it from me, or what, and then here we go with that. Or someone else, because the money's at where I'm chasing it.
Yeah.
And being here we go again, one-man gang, man, so many the assassin, and then Paul Jones' Army. Oh,
we're gonna talk all about that coming up. Yep.
I don't get ahead of you. Oh God, I love you, brother.
We also went back to Vern for a little bit, and before you went back to Vern, I believe you worked with Vern and Andre in MSG, right? Was that one of the matches, maybe?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, oh yeah, and
so Vern worked the Garden with
yes,
Andre. Okay, wow.
Vern and they all came, like you mentioned, Eddie Graham and Dusty would come in for shots from Florida, and everybody would work, all the big stars, and they wanted to, because that's where all the magazines was from there, New
Yep.
York. So you get all, man, when I was there, every time, even the first time, and where they gave me my break and Strongbow and all that, man, I must have been on 10, 12 covers,
right,
in 15 months. And same with me and Johnny. And, they did that date with the Valiant brothers. And it was Captain Lou and the Valiants, too. And then the next week, the next month, on the Wrestler, yeah.
There's a magazine cover if you want to show that.
There's some right there.
You can show the camera if you want.
Yeah, man, you bet. Yes, sir, brother.
There's a PWI with you on the cover.
Yes, sir. There it is right there. But oh yeah, so many, and it was just so they wanted to do that, and of course they'd cover them, in Florida. Dick the Bruiser, the only one that couldn't, because he was barred,
right?
For life, from that bad riot, and you never want to take the people, Rob, all the way to a riot. I mean, you want to take them right there to the edge of insanity, man. But then you got to shut them down. They got to get that back, sit them back down, because if you get a riot and they start throwing the cheers and they start throwing things, and not only the wrestlers are going to get hit, but boom, it's going to go through the ring. The spectators are getting hurt, and then here comes the people and they're fighting, and then the cops are getting hurt. I mean, it's bad, and it'll kill the town. Sometimes for 6 months, sometimes it never comes back.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and so it's never take it there. Me and Johnny, we're in Fort Wayne at the big auditorium there, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and me and Johnny was against Dick the Bruiser and the midget Little Bruiser. There was a Little Bruiser, back there in the 70s, and so he said, "I'll take the Valiant brothers, and I don't care who it is. Give me anybody, and hey, I'll bring that little midget, that Little Bruiser in, even, and hey, whatever." So the next week, the match was set. So next week we do another promo. Well, he wanted to, someone be a midget.
Right.
It's so funny. We got the black curtains here, so he gets one of the guys behind the camera, says, "Come here, kid," and he puts a big like an overcoat on him, and he takes his shoes off and he puts his shoes like this, and he's kneeling on his shoes.
Right.
He's got a hat way over his head, and you know, he's way down like this, and he's telling everybody, "This is Little Bruiser. He's gonna be my tag team partner."
Right.
Yeah, and he's on his knees and got the shoes on. It was the funniest thing I ever seen in my life.
Right.
But Dick the Bruiser got that over. But what I'm saying, almost a riot that night. We had Bobby out there, and anyway, he's out there getting Bobby and we snatched Little Bruiser, me and Johnny, and we had them, both of us, up over our head, double slam him, and the people, it just got red hot, quiet, and then all of a sudden here it comes, stuff flying, cheers and that. So we knew, and Bruiser sensed it and popped Bobby, and he rolls in and big comeback, and boy we were popping, and we just dropped him. We didn't slam him, you know, because that was. But just if we would have, we would have lost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you want to take them all the way, man, almost, and then you got to send them back down, you know.